Hey guys, good morning. Happy Monday. I want to come through real quick to drop this quick word of encouragement. Hopefully it'll encourage you. So I remember when I got my first iPhone, and when I got the iPhone at the time, it was the latest version that was out. And so I think my first iPhone was a 10. I want to say, so a 10 or 11. So I was really like late in the game when it came to, getting an iPhone. But when I was finally able to get an iPhone, a 4 one or whatever the case might be, of course I was excited. And then I was even more excited because I had the newest version that was out. Cause y'all know iPhone makes a new version like every year. So at that time when I got it, it was the latest version that was out. And so it was in that moment that God spoke to me, and he said, because you waited, you have the best version that's out there, right? And so my iPhone, for all intents and purposes, were able to do things that the iPhone 4, 5, 6, whatever, that previous versions were not able to do. My iPhone had components in it to address a wider variety of needs. My iPhone was updated. My iPhone had the latest emojis. I didn't have to update my software to get what other people had, right? And so, of course, the revelation behind that was and is, and what I want to speak to someone today is to let you know that even though you might feel delayed, or even though you might feel like you are coming at a later time to do what God is called and purposed you to do, you're really not too late. And here's why. What happens is when a manufacturer creates, like Apple, creates multiple versions of a product, the latest version of the product is going to be able to address certain things that did not exist in the initial stages of the first development of whatever that product is, right? So when they invented the first iPhone, there were certain things in that iPhone that only addressed the needs of society at that time. But now, years later, the 11, the world has changed. Does that make good sense? The world has more needs. There are different things and advances in society that now exist that did not exist when the iPhone 1 was created. But now the iPhone 11 is going to be able to address a need in society that did not exist when the first one was created. And so what happens is that an update or an updated version of a product allows that product to meet a demand that did not initially exist when the product was first created. And so what I want to let you know is that you are going to be an answer to a problem in the world that does not yet exist. And so if you think that you are being delayed, it's only because God is working out the configurations so that when he's ready to release you, you are going to be a weapon of mass destruction to the kingdom of darkness. God is putting things in you now for something that he is going to need later. And because he is the wise and the greatest manufacturer, he knows that there's going to be a need that exists in society far beyond what it is that you can see. So what you think is delay is really preparation for God to put everything inside of you so that when he uncovers you and reveals you, you're going to be an answer to something that the world needs that is not present right now. And so even for those of us who feel that God has released us too late, or we feel like that the thing that we are doing we should have been doing. No, God is like, you are literally right on time. And this is what he told me. In the seasons of obscurity, in the seasons in which I was hidden, in the season where it seemed like I was being processed and in the fire, it was because God was letting me know that I have you hidden for a reason. And this is why in the hidden place, the enemy will try to distract you or deter you, because he knows that that who you are and who God is creating you to be is going to be a solution to a future problem. And so when he comes to attack you, it's not so much that he wants you to be impotent presently. It's because he doesn't want you to be the weapon that's going to annihilate his plan or plot in the earth that he has come. And see, God has a vantage point that we don't have. He sits higher than we are. His thoughts are higher than ours. And God has foreknowledge to know that I'm going to have a need of you in the future. So in the meantime, if you are being hidden by God, do not forsake the hiding place. Do not forsake the preparation, because God is equipping you. God is putting things in you. God is making you stronger. God is teaching you wisdom. God is preparing you. God is giving you strength. God is giving you the faith and everything that is going to need, so that when he unveils you, when he uncovers you, when he releases you into your assignment, you are going to be such a force to the kingdom of darkness that he's not even going to know what hit him. How many people know that God has some hidden things that he's not really ready to reveal? Because in my mind, God is like, yeah, you think you're winning to the enemy and to the kingdom of darkness. He's like, I'm gonna let you have your way for a little while, but why you see, this is the difference between the enemy and God. See, the enemy moves quickly. Right? The enemy moves on impulse and what he knows and what he thinks, what he sees in that moment. But God moves based on what he sees ahead. And so therefore God can take a little bit more time. So while the enemy is wreaking havoc and doing what he wants to do now, he doesn't have the future in mind. But God is like, I'm going to allow you to think that you are getting away with some stuff, that you are winning some stuff, that you are gaining some territory in this battle, in this warfare. But God is like, you don't know what I'm building in the shed. God is like, you don't know what I'm building back in the woods. Don't you know God has you hidden and in the secret place, because he's building you, he's strengthening you, he's putting everything in you that he's going to need to blow the kingdom of darkness away. And so I want you to take your season of obscurity as a blessing. Take it, be proud in that. Be proud that God is getting ready to use you in a mighty, in particular type of way that you cannot see right now. And so it is in this stage that the enemy is going to try to use all means possible, because you think that you're being delayed. You think that God's hands is not on you. You think because you are seeing everyone doing what you know that you are gifted to do and what God has called you to do, and you're not doing it yet, that you are disqualified. And God is like, no, you're not disqualified. I'm just still preparing you, because when I release you, there's nothing that's going to be able to come against you. There's no spell, there's no root, there's no hex, there's no demonic force, there's no mouth, there's no hater that's going to be able to destroy you, because the things that I'm putting in you is going to be so great. And then look at this. And then people are going to wonder where you came from, because when God releases you, it's going to seem like a all of a sudden, but it's really not an all of a sudden, because for years you have been in the shed being prepared as a weapon of mass destruction. That's what I keep hearing. Weapons of mass destruction. God has been building weapons of mass destruction behind the scene, and you are one of them. So, do not despise being hidden. Do not despise the delay. You are an answer that has not been revealed yet. You are an answer to a problem that does not exist. And if this is the time right now that God is releasing you, then just know that you have not arrived too late. You may think now, I could have been doing this years ago or whatever. You're right on time and right on schedule for what God wants to use you for in the world today. God bless.